Last week, the newest season of Sentai started up, Shuriken Sentai Ninja Ranger, and I thought I'd give my first impressions. So already, I'm a huge fan of Ninja Motif. Ninja Motif looks awesome, the aesthetics looks cool, and to top it off, they have an awesome morphing sequence. That's definitely a plus in my book. Already off to a good note. In terms of characters, I think the characters are pretty likable. I mean, they feel pretty generic roles. Red Ranger being goofy, Blue Ranger being pretty boy, kind of cocky, Yellow Ranger also kind of goofy. The dad character also fills in with that goofy role, so there's already 3 comic relief characters, which is not that I'm not a huge fan of, but I like it when my Sentai is more serious. A little more serious. Never really hurt anybody. The 2 girls, the White Ranger is well, I think it's the Pink Ranger. One of the Rangers is one of the female Rangers is a spoiled, kind of entitled rich girl. She goes to college, she has that entitled persona about her, which I don't really have a problem with. There's always been girls like that in Sentai, and usually they tend to have a little more character development because they have a lot more to go through, but I can already predict what her character development's gonna be, so that's nothing new. The one character I did have a problem with, though, was the Red Ranger's younger sister. Now, I don't know if it's his younger sister exactly, but she calls him Oni-chan, which usually refers to someone you view as an older brother or someone you grew up with, so that she could be his childhood friend, more or less. But she's very annoying, just to put it bluntly. She keeps pointing out the Red Ranger's flaws, and it gets really annoying, and I can already see her character development later on, but I feel like she's going to be a fairly annoying character for me. The last character to mention is the father. He's pretty much a carbon copy of the Red Ranger, a little goofy, but I do like the fact that he plays a little bit of a mentor role. Speaking of mentors, the granddad comes back, which he plays into the plot a little later. I might discuss that a little bit later in the reviews, but he comes back and turns out to be alive, and he's more likely going to play the role of their masters / mentor, so he's already going to replace the father, who I thought was going to be the mentor. He's probably going to be the mentor, but I have no problem with that because, I mean, personally, I like characters that come back and are mentors to a new team or just an unexperienced team and provide them with great lessons and things like that. And it really does develop characters, and it could lead to some pretty awesome character development. I'm also really curious to how he plays into the story behind the enemy that he sealed all those years ago. A lot of pros for me this series already. I'm picking from the first episode, but there are some cons. One con is the mechs. The mechs confuse me quite a bit. The Yellow Ranger has a dumpster as a mech. It doesn't make sense. And then the Pink Ranger has a train. What? Like, it really does not make sense to me. The Red Ranger controls like a ninja Megazord, which works out, and it just doesn't make sense to me that the rest of the team also wouldn't have that. I mean, Cock Ranger already did it, but there's nothing wrong with redoing it again. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Honestly, I would have been 100% more down with that. And then when they combine, it looks goofy. Like the Red Ranger's mech sits in the cockpit, like he sits on the Megazord like it's a throne, and even in the cockpit when you see the Rangers there, he's on a throne. They're all holding like a sword. It's really off-putting, and I'm not really a huge fan of the whole Megazord thing. I'm not to say that I wasn't the biggest fan of Megazord fights, but they're just glorified toy commercials, and I've never really bought Sentai toys, but I do enjoy a good Megazord fight every now and then. This one, I can definitely see myself skipping this one in the long run, so that's a little bit disappointing. The only other con I will have to point out is the opening sequence. Opening sequences for me play a huge part into getting into the show, because Sentai has always had good opening sequences. Only a handful I can name that I did not enjoy, and for this season they wanted to do the first opening sequence over a fight scene that Red Ranger had, and it was a bit weird because I was paying more attention to the fight scene than the actual music, which sort of took me out of the moment. I had to go back and almost re-listen to the song while not paying attention to the fight scene, which I didn't like, and I hope they don't do that anymore. They probably won't, but I don't think it was a good substitute. That's just my personal opinion. And as for the ending theme, it's pretty good. Nothing new. The lyrics are a bit odd, but then again, not everything translated perfectly, but I do like the dance at the end. I've always been a huge fan of that since Go Busters. That's good. That was my first impressions on Shuriken Sentai Ninja Ranger. Hope you guys enjoyed, and probably keep up with the series and more or less do weekly reviews if I can. So I will catch you guys on the next one.
4月15日日曜朝7時30分参上プレミア発表会開催